What happens when two indie developers decide they're tired of waiting for Titanfall 3 and just build it themselves? That appears to be the origin story of ShatterRush, a fast-paced movement shooter combining wall running, grappling hooks, giant mechs, and fully destructible maps. In other words, someone looked at Titanfall, looked at the finals, then chose chaos. And somehow, it might be brilliant. But is this genuinely the next great movement shooter? Or just another early access dream running on nostalgia and wishful thinking? Let's talk about ShatterRush. ShatterRush is a multiplayer parkour FPS from Tetra Studios, currently in an open pre-alpha phase on PC. The pitch is immediate and dangerously appealing. Run on walls, grapple across rooftops, double jump through firefights, call in giant mechs, blow buildings apart mid-match. The official Steam page describes it as high-speed combat, where movement and destruction constantly reshape the battlefield. And frankly, that sentence alone will activate something primal in anyone who misses Titanfall. Within seconds of playing, you understand the fantasy. Momentum matters. You're sliding into corners, grappling upward, chaining jumps, and trying to stay airborne just long enough to style on somebody. The movement DNA is obvious. Titanfall fans will recognize the influence instantly. But unlike many imitators, ShatterRush doesn't just copy the speed. It understands that movement shooters need flow. You need to feel like you're surfing the map. And when it clicks, ShatterRush absolutely delivers flashes of that magic. Here's where it separates itself. The maps are destructible. Not just decorative explosions, real structural damage, walls gone, floors collapsing, new routes opening, cover erased. One of the most interesting moments is watching a mech crash through a rooftop like an angry landlord collecting rent. This creates something movement shooters rarely have: evolving maps. Routes don't stay safe. Sniper nests don't stay intact. The battlefield mutates. That's a genuinely exciting idea. Yes, there are mechs. And yes, they feel like the headline attraction. Matches begin with infantry combat, then escalate as players summon towering machines loaded with heavy weapons. This shift changes pacing dramatically. What starts as agile parkour combat suddenly becomes steel-on-steel mayhem. It's a clever rhythm. Fast infantry movement creates tension. Then the mech phase becomes payoff. Now let's be fair. This is pre-alpha. That means rough edges are not a surprise. They're part of the package. And right now, some of those edges are sharp enough to cut through the hype. Players have reported clunky or floaty movement, grapple inconsistency, basic gun placeholder visuals, networking issues depending on region. Even positive impressions usually come with the same caveat. The potential is obvious, but the polish is not there yet. The reason people care about ShatterRush goes beyond the game itself. It exists because a genre was abandoned. AAA publishers largely walked away from arena movement shooters in favor of extraction games, battle royales, hero shooters, and monetized retention loops. Titanfall fans have spent years staring into the void. ShatterRush is what happens when that void starts building its own games. That alone makes it interesting. But now comes the hard part. Having a cool prototype is one thing. Building a sustainable multiplayer game is another. ShatterRush still needs consistent hit detection, strong progression systems, better onboarding, stable matchmaking, mechanical refinement, long-term player retention without killing the fun. The graveyard is full of shooters that had great movement. Movement alone doesn't keep servers alive. So is ShatterRush worth watching? Absolutely. Is it finished? Not even remotely. But beneath the rough textures and early access chaos is something rare. A shooter that actually wants you to move, improvise, and have fun. In 2026, that already makes it more interesting than half the AAA market. ShatterRush may not be Titanfall 3, but right now, it might be the closest thing we've got.